I go by the name of Joffey Joe. And this is the show, Call It How I See It. And on today's episode, I got a couple of teams I want to talk to you all about. First and foremost, I got Glenn Pratt. He's in the house. And we are here to wrap up the NBA Finals because the blood is in the water and we're expecting OKC to shut it down tonight. So, you don't want to miss out on what we have to say about that. Secondly, I am here to talk some more hockey because the hockey season's over. The Florida Panthers are the NHL champions once again. Back-to-back champs. You don't want to miss out on what I have to say about that. I promise. It's very nice. So, that's it. That's all we have for this week. But you don't want to miss out on this action-packed episode. And we are back, world. Yes, we are back this week, and maybe, most likely, we're going to wrap up the NBA Finals. So we're here to talk about it, and who better than the man himself, Glenn Pratt, to talk about it with. How you doing, G?
Oh, man, you know what I hear from Joffey. Time to call it how I see it. Come on. Let's get it on.
Let's get it. Let's dive in. So, G, we finished with the OKC Thunder up 3-2 now. And they pulled off a pretty good win in Game 5. You know, it's basically the Jalen Williams game. He really took over the game.
Coming out party.
Yeah, big coming out party. And sometimes, you know, in terms of his skill set, you know, sometimes he's like the forgotten man. He's an all-star. But, you know, when we look at the Thunder, we kind of look at Chet being the second guy most of the time. But, like, you know, what he did in Game 5, I haven't seen Chet even get to that type of level yet. So, like, he has, like, I don't know, some hidden talents that come out in certain times. In terms of matchups and things we're breaking down on the floor, too, he was just hitting his buckets, man. Like, whether they had Neesmith or, Mathurin on him and stuff, it just didn't matter. He was just going to the bucket at will and scoring points, and he really propelled them to win. It might even make a case if he has a good Game 6, closing out game, maybe even a case for Finals MVP. Those types of games push you over the edge. But, I mean, I think what we know as, you know, spectators on the sideline, we know where it's going to end up going. But, Jay, I think we also know where this is going to end up going as, you know, things are going to wrap up tonight. So, is tonight the night, Jay, that Oklahoma City is going to be the NBA champions of the world?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No question, no doubt about it. They found the formula. J-Dub doing his thing. I think they're going to only need. Chet didn't even have a good. Listen. They have so many weapons, and I really feel like this game right here, they're going to all be on display. I said I was looking for a suite. I was even about to give the gentleman suite. This is it, Joffey. This is it. Lights out.
Lights out.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's go back in Indy and, you know, shut them out. That'd be saying a lot. I mean, too, you know, we also have to look at the other scope of things, too, with Indiana. I mean, we saw Halliburton get some calf tightness and stuff, which affected his game, only ended up with 4 points. But we saw an emerging hero come out in TJ McConnell, and he helped, you know, he helped glue things together while this team had a struggle without him in the lineup. And I'm talking about in terms of Halliburton. But TJ McConnell, total floor general, just like, I don't even know. He knew what to do. He handled things very well and even brought the team within 2 points. Unfortunately, you know, a good timely timeout, you know, and a couple design plays that Jalen Williams helped the Thunder pull away and win that game. Which, you know, and given things like, you know, just like TJ McConnell having a hot hand, we bring it back to Jalen Williams just having a hot hand and finishing things off. So that's just like something they have in their arsenal. And just like you said too, they have so many different ways to beat you. I mean, we saw Wallace hitting threes. You know, we see like their guys off the bench. They just they contribute and they you know produce at high levels. For sure. And I mean, don't get me wrong too. Indiana has that too. They do. But I mean, for what it's worth, though, I mean, we definitely see more coming from the Thunder's bench than it is from the Indiana side. And it's been a big factor as to why the Thunder have been able to, you know, get to where they are right now and be able to close things out tonight. So,
turn them out.
Exactly. So, I mean, overall, though, I mean, we have to give OKC a lot of credit here. I mean, for the most part, I mean, what they've built, you know, through their draft and everything and being the youngest team in the NBA, young coach and everything, Sam Presti, GM, like, kudos, you have to tip his hat because where the OKC Thunder are, I don't even think he would have thought this type of heights when he was back with, you know, Durant and Russell Westbrook and stuff. Like, it's really crazy to see, and it's a shame because the Sonics, you know, kind of got ripped out on this one. Sonics never able to bring back a title back home. But, I mean, for where this franchise is, it's a good look, and, you know, this team is definitely going to be in contention for many more years to come. They got the core.
No doubt. They'll be in the conversation.
For sure. And, like, even to, like, other players, too, like, you know, we'll see more development come from them. Who knows? Chet Holmgren might even hit a new level. There's different variances with this team that we're going to be watching for many, many more years to come. And who knows, man? They might even incorporate some other pieces just because they're...
There's definitely still room for growth. In so many areas, it's dangerous, man. It really could be dangerous for the rest of the league.
No, for sure, absolutely. And then like even having these bench pieces and stuff too. It's like I said, like you can interchange them and get some other bigger pieces later. But for more what it's worth, I mean, when you win the title, you don't want to tamper with too much. You know what I mean? Like you want to keep as much as glued as you can. So I want to swing things to the other side though. For a team like the Pacers, overcoached with Rick Carlisle and a young team too, very deep on bench too. But where do you think going through this experience of what they had in the playoffs go for them moving forward?
Well, it's going to be huge. I mean, experience is key. Getting these guys in this situation this early in their career, because they have some young guys too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Halliburton, I want to say, to me, he's not a superstar. Good player.
Right.
He's not a superstar. He's just good. They were trying to elevate him, made a couple buckets, timely buckets. Give him credit.
Right.
Credit due. Okay.
Right.
He's just good. He's just good. So that whole narrative too. I mean, I don't know if they have enough compared to OKC. Not really. Great story. Give him credit for games played. Series 1.
Right.
Over. This is it.
Right.
This is where they say the rubber meets the road. All those cliches you want to use.
Yeah.
This is it. Lights out.
No, for sure. I mean, like this definitely the sharks in the water. I mean, blood's in the water, sharks in the water. Like you can just see it. But I mean, for a team,
they'll be in the East though.
Yeah, for sure.
The way the East is now,
for sure.
I think Indiana will be a. What were they? They were the 4th.
They were the 4th seed. Just to make sure I'm right on that, they were the 4th seed.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if that's an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? So can you grow from that? No doubt.
No, for
Give
sure.
Them, Boston being a little banged up, Knicks are in flux. Cleveland is what they are. I mean, they'll probably be, but Indiana's going to have something to say about it next year for sure. And I think this is going to help them this whole experience, no doubt.
It's like, we break down matchups and the way their team's formulated and everything. Like, we look at their team, like with Siakam, Halliburton, Miles Turner, who's set to be a free agent.
Solid player, man.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been around for 10 years, and he's just always been very solid center, especially in today's NBA game and stuff. But, Neesmith and Nembhard, these guys, and Mathurin coming off the bench, even Obi Toppin, like, their team is good. They have a deep team, and I think, in terms of matchups and stuff, they already shown they can beat the Knicks. They already shown they can beat the Cavaliers. The only matchup that they would have to get over is a healthy Boston team, and we'll see.
Boston team, I agree.
We'll have to see how things break down with their team moving forward, too.
Sure.
So, if there's a window for them to jump through it, I think now is it. But, like, if they were to face up in terms of another matchup against OKC again, would they have the same result? And, like, that's what's going to be key here. Maybe they can fix some things in the future, but, like, right now they know where they're at, and it's just not there to win the title yet. And,
I agree.
And plus, how many more times can you pull a rabbit out the track? Rabbit out the hat, excuse me. Like, with these clutch wins and stuff, it doesn't happen very often. And God forbid, they were able to pull this string as long as they could in certain moments, even in the game 1 of the finals and stuff. But, this team I definitely think is going to be there for years to come. And I actually, if you really look at things, I think Siakam really is their best overall player.
With you there.
I think he really is. They're like what makes them go. And like you see it, like if things slow down or double coverage starts breaking down on him, you start seeing other people trying to get their option and trying to force offense, and it doesn't seem to flow the same way when it's not going through Siakam and stuff. And that's why I think that's why a lot of people are scratching their head. They're like, oh, I thought Halliburton's the best player and blah blah blah. But I'm like, if you're really watching things and how things break down,
Absolutely.
Most of the offense runs through him. Halliburton just facilitates, and he is very, he has a good cerebral mind for the court and everything. But for how things break down, that offense really goes through Siakam and everything. So you can ask the New York Knicks about that.
Oh no, right.
So, G, one thing I wanted to wrap up on. This was a matchup not many people thought were the sexy picks or even expected to happen. But I wanted to break down. I mean, there's numbers coming out about the ratings of the NBA Finals, and this has been coming out for years too. I mean, we've looked at some of the ratings from the finals and stuff. I mean, ever since the height of when Cleveland and the Warriors played, it seemed like their finals have been going down in viewership over year. But we're looking. I think I saw a 31% chance. 30% down rating of just viewership, and I don't know, I kind of find that concerning. I also saw the NHL's playoffs and Stanley Cups was down 22%. I could be wrong, but what do you think about the ratings going down in the finals?
I don't know what to say. Me as a sports fan, personally,
yeah,
I watch. Besides hockey, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some kind of hockey expert. I mean, I watch Sports Center, so I see hockey. But the other baseball, basketball, and football, I'm watching those championship series or games, no matter who's in it. That's just me, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Do they use the casual fan because New York or Los Angeles isn't in it? I mean, maybe there's a tick. They get a little boost because of the. Me personally, the sports fans are watching it, man. I don't know what the ratings are. To me, the ratings are media created for conversation. I mean, that's what we want. They give us a conversation piece. We're talking about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, to me, that's a media created just thing. I mean, sports fans watch basketball. How do you not watch the championship series of the sport if you're a sports fan? I just don't. I don't see that making any sense. But no matter who's in it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
No matter who's in the Super Bowl, you watch the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
No, I agree with you there, and it just like kind of scratches your head because like I mean, most sports fans that follow stuff are just like people that like to constantly have ESPN and absorbing what's going on in the sports world. I mean, you would usually think they would tune in, but I think there's also just a bigger thing than that. I mean, we can look at like subscriptions and cable going down. I think there's a lot of reasons why viewership is going down, overall. But I guess for like Adam Silver's spot here, it's tough because you're trying to like gain more capital and stuff like that. But like when you how are in the future, if you're trying to look for a new TV deal and they look at this, like I don't know how they're gonna like break things down in terms of numbers. But that's not for me to know or understand. So that's just another can of worms. But like UG, in terms of like the fan, I'm gonna tune in, I'm gonna watch, and I'll absorb it and take it for what it is, and call it how I see it.
That's how we do it.
Exactly. But G, it's time to raise that banner in OKC.
Yes, Tom, no doubt. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
No, for sure. And it's been a fun season. I mean, it's a shame how some things kind of broke down or what ifs, but this is what comes with sports, man. There's a lot of unpredictability, and now we look at the end of things of this season. We're gonna look at the Thunder winning it all and just say, okay, good job.
Yeah, it's not often too that we get to say the team with the best record wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's become
one of those cases that good to see. I like to root for greatness, man. To be honest with you, I'm really just a sports fan like that.
No,
they were the best team all year, and there you go.
I know for sure. I mean, like we can look at the records; they were good against the East. You know what I mean? Like they were just hands down the best team, and then to see where they are now, they just they showed why they are the best team. They versed everybody in their way, had some trouble, but they adversed, and now exactly. So that's what it's about, and that's what makes a true championship team.
Absolutely.
But G, I appreciate you coming on and shooting the shit with me, man.
Man, let me tell you something. When I hear from Joffey this time, man, I can't wait to call it how I see it, Joffey. Can't wait till next time already.
Yes, absolutely. Well, G, I appreciate you coming on, and until next time.
Man? Appreciate you having me, man. You have a good night. Enjoy your days off, man.
You too, man. You too. I'm here to talk some hockey. Yes, the NHL season is now over, and we have crowned a champion, a back-to-back champion, who has won 2 out of the last 3 Stanley Cups. Yes, a dynasty in the making. Some would also argue back-to-back champions don't make a dynasty, but a mini dynasty in the making for sure. So, yes, the Florida Panthers are on top of the NHL world once again. And boo-hoo, Canada, you had another team that could have did it, and you didn't. But mind you, I say this in this type of fashion because I felt like the Oilers had a tougher challenge and gauntlet to go through, and I thought they were going to be ready and show something. But Connor McDavid, yes, 7 points. I get it. In 6 games, 7 points. A lot of people would say yes. But the goals, man, there's no goals to show for it. There's not. And my man, Connor, you're the best player in the NHL. This is the time where you need to step up and become the face and win a championship and do it for your country, and it didn't happen once again. Mind you, too, it also would help if you had a goalie. When you're interplacing your goalie from Skinner to Pickard, it doesn't work. And we saw that happen last night. Maybe if the Oilers were smart, and I think they will try to this offseason, they'll be trying to get a goalie because I think that team's there. I do. But if you look at some of the other components, who really gets to stay in the long run? I mean, they have their defensemen, Bouchard and Perry. And you're also looking at Nugent Hopkins, I believe, is on his last year of his deal. So, and, Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. How long can this really go on? I mean, you guys are clearly the best 1-2 punch in the NHL. And to fall short, it just speaks volumes of where the Florida Panthers are. I guess the Florida Panthers are just a complete mismatch for the Oilers. Because, mind you, too, the 2 wins that the Oilers did have in the Stanley Cup Finals, they had to come back from behind and win. So, if anything, Florida kind of just dropped the ball in those 2 games, or dropped the puck, excuse me. But, I mean, they cleaned it up. And God forbid, I mean, you could have just had Sam Reinhart on the freaking ice last night, or even the night before, the game before with Sam Bennett putting up goals. You had Brand Marchand, like I called a couple weeks ago, was going to be a factor, and he was, and it shows. I was unaware that he won the Stanley Cup his rookie year. I thought it was later on in his career, but to show off, maybe, perhaps, maybe not, in his last year of playing hockey, he, helped this team out a lot and definitely came through in a clutch when they needed to, and some spots where they actually fell behind. But kudos to the Florida Panthers. Yes, Florida is running rampant on the hockey world for almost a decade now. It's really crazy. I mean, we're going to look back from the Lightning and what they had going on, and now to see where the Florida Panthers are, even going past the Lightning and dethroning them and kind of just stamping the flag of we're here, we're the champs, and you guys can't beat us. We're going to have another parade in the river or whatever and have it. I don't know. They're just doing that type of stuff. And you have to give the head coach, Paul Maurice, a lot of credit. He knows what to do with these guys. He pushes the right buttons. And now he is, I believe, one of 4 coaches in the NHL that have multiple championships. So he checks out. And I'm sure there's some Canadians fans that wish they could have him back. But this is where they are. And, it's good to see these guys win from, Kachuk, like I said, Sam Bennett, Rodriguez, all these guys. If you look at their line, they have three guys. They have 3 different lines that could possibly be number 1 lines for other teams, for sure. And to have that type of offense ready and equipped, and also having some familiarity playing the Oilers last finals, and I'm sure they reviewed a lot even after celebrating last year, but to give up a 3-0 lead and to almost have a big gigantic collapse last year, to seeing where they fine-tune things this year, fast forwarding, and making the right adjustments for them to cleanly beat the Oilers, because honestly they were the better team. They just presented a bad matchup for the Oilers. It really did. Like, the Oilers really didn't have much more else to do. Good goaltending always helps, don't get me wrong, and their goaltending situation has been pretty shaky all postseason, as they've been interchanging Skinner and Pickard the whole time. But they were able to get by and get to where they are now, and you were almost overlooking and shadowing this issue because of what they were able to do offensively and even come back in some of these games, like they did in the Stars series, and moving forward and through what they did in the entire postseason. So it's really it's kind of Edmonton's balloon got big again, and then a needle popped it, and now they're back to where they are. I mean, I know Canada is starving to have the Lord Stanley Cup back in their country, as it's been for almost over 3 decades now, which is really crazy to think. But to see how things have molded and shaped out, you have to give the Florida Panthers a lot of credit. And is this a dynasty in the making? It definitely can be, especially if they have almost all these pieces coming back. They have some newer talent coming in that look really good. And to, see where it is from a demographic level too, I guess pushing Florida hockey. I mean, a lot of people would say this was part of the reason why the ratings are down, and this is why no one wants to watch anymore. It's because dynasties are ruining things. I get that notion. I do. But at the end of the day, you have to appreciate greatness, because for the longest time, as an expansion franchise, this franchise was spit on and looked at like it will never, ever be in contention for a championship. And now, to see where they are on top of the hockey world, you have to give them a lot of credit. Given it did take some time, about 35 years, I believe, but where they are, they earned it. And they built the team the right way. They had the right core. They added a veteran piece that came through in the clutch for them when they needed it. And they just, they're if you look at their team, they're going to be good for years to come. From Verhaeghe to, like I said, Sam Bennett, Reinhart, Rodriguez, Kachuk, Marchand, Alexander Barkov, their captain, like even Ekblad on defense. They have enough pieces to stay good for a long time. And I think they will. Until somebody pushes them off the throne, the Florida Panthers are on top of the hockey world again. And you have to give kudos to teams that are built like this. And this is really, in what you look at things, this is how dynasties are created. Yes, given they didn't win, the first time they were there, but they learned from it, they got better, and they got better. So it's going to be interesting to see how they moving forward, especially if they keep progressing the way they've been doing the past couple of years. So it's definitely be something to watch. But like I said, the Florida Panthers, kudos, are on top of the hockey world again.